Hello and welcome to a humble Highland home. Thank you so much for joining me here today. Today I'm embracing an essential job that I think I've been subconsciously avoiding, as I much prefer to be outside, especially when it's not raining. So I'm going to take my time and slowly work through all the different jobs that I need to do to make sure that I am in the best place and ready for the next harvest coming into the kitchen. I like to do a spring clean and check that everything is in good order and there's no signs of any mould or damaged jars or packaging. I also like to check the shop bought items, check that they're in date and they've got no signs that would cause for any concern. I like to work with the seasons and preserve food throughout the year in some form. So given the work that I know that goes into every step of growing food, harvesting and preserving it, or even buying the bits that we can't make for ourselves, so this gives me the greatest respectful appreciation and make sure that we have our food storage methods in place so that I can avoid any wastages. It's also a good time to make a note of everything that needs to be refilled, and I compile a shopping list of the things that we need to buy and the things that we've used a lot of. I also do this for my seasonal foraging calendar, because why pick it if I'm not going to use it? But wild nettles and roseberry willow herb are always a firm favourite, so I like to keep my stocks up of them and use them throughout the year. Fresh is always best, but dried is a pretty good backup, and it's even better when these nutritious plants grow wild and are for free. As I work through the pantry and now the fridge, I move all of the items that need to be used into a designated area. This will form part of our meal planning in the week or weeks ahead. This can provide some pretty interesting combinations, but who said that we need to stick to any rules? The polytunnel has been serving me well this springtime. I've been able to harvest various fresh produce, which is ideal for this hungry gap time of the year. I've also learnt a lot over this springtime of what I would do again, but also things that I would maybe choose not to do or to do differently next time. And a sure sign of springtime is the rhubarb starts showing itself again. I'm pulling some of the rhubarb stalks from the crown that I planted last autumn, as it's been trying to go to seed. So to avoid this, I've broken off any of the seed pods, so the plant's energy goes back into producing more and thicker rhubarb stalks. The stalks are quite thin just now, but it will get thicker over time, just like the other more established plant does. I only take a few stalks, just enough for what I'm going to be using them for today. Gradually, I am replacing shop-bought items with more homegrown or homemade items, which I think makes sense given the concerns that I have about our broken food chains and the uncertainty of our supply of food. And this is why I'm a great advocate of working with our local communities and our local farmers, so we have better connections with our food. We know where it's come from and how it's been grown. And let it be said that food should be our medicine and medicine should be our food. I really started looking into this many years ago for medicinal reasons. I could see people were choosing convenience over nutrition, and also the damaging effects that this can actually have. And along with the amount of chemicals that were being sprayed upon our foods and the chemicals that we were spraying ourselves within our own homes. So step by step over the years, I've made the changes that are right for me. They won't be right for everybody, but they fit well with me. These small stalks of rhubarb will just be perfect for the green lentil curry that I've had cooking in the crock pot today. It just adds that little bit of zest to the curry, but it really is quite yum. I noticed that I had some frozen rhubarb from last year, as I like to have fruits in the freezer to use at a later date, especially throughout the colder months when a warming crumble is very welcome at our kitchen table. Technically, rhubarb is a vegetable, but that tends to attract a lot of debate. I like to keep some fresh fruits in the freezer that I've harvested during the year, and I save them for when I have a little bit more time so that I can make my own jam. I am making apple and rhubarb jam today, which will help to restock the pantry for the year ahead. And then in summertime, hopefully we'll have lots of strawberries and I will make strawberry jam. And then later in the year, I will be making some wild berry jelly. This is one of my favourites. These are just my tried and tested go-to recipes, but it depends what's in season at the time and what I have available to what I make. I will leave suggested recipes or links in the description below. However, I do tend to change them as I go along. Sometimes I think making jam can be made out to be something that is very difficult, whereas it doesn't have to be difficult. There are some great recipes out there if you prefer a recipe, but I tend to experiment quite a bit and then find out what works best for me. But I think the main thing is to give it a go. If you've seen any of my other cooking videos, you'll notice that I use this pan a lot. It is actually my mum's old pressure cooker that I can remember her using when I was little. But now I tend to use it for any bulk cooking, soups, stews, jam, jellies, all of the above. And I don't know anyone that has got a very productive kitchen or homesteading household that doesn't have a large collection of jars. These are all recycled jars. They have been sterilised and they've been heated up to approximately the same temperature as the jam, and this will help them to seal so that we can preserve them for a long period of time. Some people would use canning equipment, but I don't have that, so this is the method that I use. There really is something quite satisfying seeing these jars all filling up. I left them to cool overnight so that they could all get a proper seal and be completely cold before I labelled them and put them away. Now it's time to get back into the garden. So thank you for joining me here today. Take care of yourselves and each other, and I'll see you in the next video.